What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Minute Channel. And today I have a interesting, kind of different video to things to think about and everything. So the other day I was browsing the web and I found about this game that I never seen before. It's a Persona game, and I was like, oh, I'm interested on what's going on with that. So today I pretty much have 5 games that never came to the US, which are Persona games. 5 Persona games that never came in, and some of them might have been released in a different kind of form, and we'll talk about it in a second. But I figured it will be an interesting and fun video to talk about. So moving on, number 1, I want to talk about Aegis for Mission, which is a spin-off game for a cell phone for the Persona 3 game. So it's a spin-off game regarding Aegis on the very days, the first days, and so on. It's a side-scroller kind of game, so it's a different type of game. I seen gameplay and stuff like that. I feel like this is something that could have been well done on the US. I feel like this could have been made. So it's kind of sad not to see it happen. I feel like this is almost kind of like, why not? And most of this stuff is gonna be like that, to be frank with you, because stuff that I feel like it could have worked well in the US if they had tried. But the biggest one is Persona 2 Innocent Sin. So the original PlayStation 2 game, which was the first part of Persona 2, did not come into the US. Now the reason for this is there's many speculations, many reasons about this, but the biggest one is because this game had a lot of potentially controversial subjects. For example, kind of a big spoiler here, but Adolf Hitler shows up in the game, and there's a lot of like Nazi propaganda kind of thing and everything like that. Obviously it's part of the game and everything like that, but it's kind of sad to see that a game like that didn't come to the US for something like this. So a little bit sad. I think that I would like to think that we in the US are more mature than that, but either way, the game ended up coming out in the US, so I guess it really matter in the end. But it still sucks that it took about 15 years before we got it in the US. Moving on to other stuff, we are gonna be talking about another game that didn't come to the US, and that is Persona 4 Arena Arcade Edition. So Persona 4 Arena was a big game. A lot of people really enjoyed the way the Persona Arena games played. They were really amazing and fantastic fighting games, but even though they were really successful as far as the game and everything, they were never released in the arcades in the US. That's kind of weird in a sense if you think about it, because again, arcades I would like to think that arcades are still pretty big in the US. I think there's still a following, and people still go to arcades and play games. Not as much as they used to back in the 90s in my time, but I still know that the arcades are still out there and everything like that. So it's just kind of sad to see that they didn't do much with this. I feel like if Persona 4 Arena came in arcade form, I will go and play that game. I feel even people that aren't I guess into the Persona games could still play the games and everything. I know people that played the Persona 4 Arena game even though they're not into the Persona games, just because of the gameplay, that kind of stuff. So I think that was pretty cool. Another cool game that I kind of feel like should have been brought up is the Persona Mobile online game. So this was made mainly for the Persona 3 gameplay style kind of thing. It was also another phone game, and I guess at the time they had done one and then they moved on into another one. So they had an online game and then they had another one for the phones and everything like that. And it's odd to think about it, but I think during that era, before I guess cell phones like we know them nowadays, you have your little cell phone and it doesn't really play good graphics or anything like that. So it makes sense, I guess, that these kind of games wouldn't come into the US. I remember data being such a hard and expensive thing to come across in cell phones. You don't want to spend your data on a game. So an online game through the phone, I can imagine how that will be hard to do and everything. And last but not least, one of the other games that never came to the US, and I'm curious about this because I feel like this one would have been pretty successful as well, was Persona 4 the card battle. So this is a free-to-play model that you start and then you just collect cards and so on. You had over 400 different cards and you do challenges and that kind of stuff. I think that this is one of those things that just looking at the cards and everything, I feel like this could have worked out. At least in my sense, I feel like they could have worked this out in some kind of way and everything, because I think the US card games are pretty popular. I know there's a fan board game that somebody did that is a fan Persona 5 card game and everything like that, so I think they're extremely popular, and I think something like this could have easily worked out pretty well on that kind of stuff. So yeah, anyway, that is pretty much all the games that I thought about. Now there are a lot more than what I noticed, what I talked here. There is Persona 3 the night before. There is Persona Ainsoft. There's a lot of different mobile games that they did. There's an online game too. So there's all these other games that I didn't talk about that didn't come into the US. Was there any particular game that you heard about that you were kind of like, oh man, I feel like this was such a good idea, or a game that you were just kind of hoping to play? I don't know. Sometimes when I go online and I find out stuff like that, I kind of get sad because I'm like, man, I really wish that I had lived in Japan during that time to play that game and so on. Anyway, that is pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this. If you're new, please consider liking and subscribing, and yeah, I'll see you next time.